Good afternoon, Tigers. Today is Wednesday, also known as National Wednesday, also known as Early Podcast Day. My name is Aiden. Today we join you on Between the Learns. Here we talk about all things sports that happen on this beautiful USN campus. As always, I am joined by Edward and Dr. Fitz. Unfortunately, Olivia cannot join us today. She is sick. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing well, Aiden. How are you?
Doing great. We have a couple special guests today, some runners on our cross-country team. You know, our cross-country team is not something to scoff at. Went to state and won. Got some fancy rings for it. Today, I'm with Colin and Henry. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Doing well.
You know, for a guy that can run as fast as Colin, he he actually ended up being late to the podcast. We will not hold that against Colin today. So, you know, I just wanted to ask you guys a couple questions about the boys cross country team, what you guys have been able to accomplish this year. Talk a little bit about your last meet. What went well for you guys in that race? What were some challenges to overcome?
Well, a big thing for us in this last race was just having everybody out there. Everyone on the team, I think, was there for the first time, I think, this year, including me. It was my first race, first time being back, and, you know, everyone really, really performed well. And, yeah, it was just good to see everyone out there, and it's a step towards the right direction.
Yeah, I would say, like, towards the beginning of the season, we were a little unsure of how things were going to go. We had some people, like, up in the air, whether they were run or not. And after this race, we're looking like a much better position than we were in the start of the season. We finished fourth overall. And then, like, Colin wasn't even running varsity, and we also were, like, missing some other top guys, so feeling pretty good about the position we are in.
Yeah, you guys got a good returning squad. Austin ran really well last year at state. You know, we got, obviously, you guys returning. Even Elijah, a new runner, ran a 19:02 recently, which I understand is very good for your first time going out. Got Brock and Clay, Eli Galantino. And then you got some new blood. You got Ryder Ortner, who's been popping up all over this broadcast. Shout out Ryder. You know, he's really, I've heard that he's really been popping off at cross country. Now the third freshman, my mistake, in state. How have these new runners been kind of integrated into this team? What have you guys done to, I guess, bring them in?
I don't know. I think one great part of the cross country team is it's great culture, and I think you get close with the guys you're running with. It's a close environment, and it's been great to see, like, some freshmen, and even we've had, like, a lot of upperclassmen join. Shout out Edward Crane joining, Sam Lustig, a lot of people, and I think it's nice, like, even if you're not the top runner, I think everyone contributes to the team, and everyone, like, pushes each other to get better. So.
Yeah, I think, in particular, Ryder's bringing some really important aspects to the cross-country team. One is that he's, like, solely devoted to the sport. I, myself, have, pursued other interests during my time at USN. Cross-country is my main thing. But it's really nice to have people on any team that are really, really wanting to reach their max potential in that sport, and Ryder wants to do that in cross country and track, and that's going to be something that's really valuable for the team. He's going to push others around and push himself.
Yeah, I like to call Ryder the new Colin, because as you probably know, Colin shows up all over USN sports, basketball, baseball, cross country, track. Actually, literally, if you go out to the River campus, you'd see Colin there. And Ryder's kind of starting to do that a little bit. We've just talking about mountain biking on our last segment, and you know, he's one of their top bikers there. Very well rounded athlete. Now let's talk a little bit about like the girls. What have you seen from them? I know Alden. Shout out Alden, just got committed to Louisville. She was unable to join us today, but we'd love to have her on sometime soon. What have you guys been seeing from this girls team? What have they been able to do?
I think the girls, they placed first at Saturday Night fever, which is like very impressive. The boys team's like kind of bolstered by a huge team. We have like 40 guys, and they have like 8 girls, and so I think even with 8 girls, they're doing really well, and I'm not sure what they're like. I think they still have a decent shot at like doing pretty well at state, and like Alden is a superstar, and she can really help them out, and they've got like Chloe, Cleo, Grace, Alice, all very good runners. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Alden's really gonna lead that pack. It's gonna be really cool to see what she does when she's got other people up next to her. I know in the last race she wasn't really getting pushed by anyone. She's kind of just coasting, but I think when she's got someone running next to her and challenging her, that she's really gonna tap into what she can really do, her potential.
Did I hear she won the girls' race by over a minute?
That is true. Yeah, she was flying, and then she was smiling as she crossed the finish line. So it didn't seem to.
Yeah, all smiles on the cross country team. Last year, as I said before, one state. You lost a couple of big runners last year. They graduated. What are you guys thinking about? How are you seeing state now? Is it a opportunity? Is it going to be? Are you going to be defending your championship here? What are you guys trying to do this year?
Yeah, well, I know that last year it was really between 2 teams. I know that this year it's going to be challenging, and everyone's going to be all hands on deck, even to get to the state meet. I know I was talking with Flair today about regions, and we were talking about DCA and Columbia Academy as well, and they only take 3 teams. DCA, Columbia Academy, and BGA all have very good runners and very good teams, and right now we have a very, very high ceiling with Ryder and all these new people, but we also have a very low floor, and we gotta meet somewhere in the middle at region and be at our peak at state if we really want to win. But yeah, we're trying to defend that ring that we got last year and take another one hopefully.
Yeah, the science wing is not the only place Coach Flater knows how to teach chemistry. This team has been really special. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the team to go see. Edward and Henry, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming on. Any you guys have any closing remarks? Any shout outs for the program?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Shout out Jack Loss, doing his thing.
Oh
Yeah, broke 21.
Also,
and shout out all the lacrosse and
Yeah.
Basketball guys that ran to meet.
Lincoln Alphen showed up, and he showed out too in his first race. I think it was like maybe a 20 or maybe a 19. I can't remember the exact time, but he was flying for his first race. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. It was great to see. A lot of people showed up, and got a taste of the cross country life.
Definitely.
So yeah.
That's great to hear, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Have a good one. Now let's switch gears to, this has been a really big week at USN Sports. A couple new commits. The baseball team's very own Alexander Peck committed to Arkansas. He's a sophomore this year. It's pretty awesome to see. And then, as I said before, Alden committed to Louisville. Let's talk about some of these games that happened this week, though. Hockey season just starting up. If you didn't tune into the broadcast with Jeffrey and Owen, that was definitely a good one to listen to. Our camera is still not up yet, folks. We're working on that, but we are still doing our vocal broadcast. Edward, you were obviously on the hockey team. A little bit of representation there. Talk a little bit about what worked for you in that game. Like, what'd you see? How did the game go for you guys?
Yeah, so it went really well. We played the Tennessee Outlaws, which, for those that aren't familiar, they're the team whose players schools don't have a hockey team, so it's kind of just a coalition of players of random players from different schools, but they showed up. But we felt really strong as well. Came out of the locker room flying. Ended up getting the win 11-4 with big commitments from Ryan Barrett, who had a hat trick, Benton Laird, who scored 2 goals, Aiden Osgener, an 8th grader here, also scored a goal, and then Jordan Palmieri, always solid in net. And so we're optimistic, and we have another game tonight, 8:30 at Centennial. It will be broadcasted, so head over to USN Sports Broadcasting to check that out tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. This hockey team is certainly fun to watch. If you haven't made out to a USN hockey game, it's a joint operation with multiple schools. What are all the schools again, Edward?
Yeah, so our hockey team this year is made up of USN, Brentwood Academy, a couple kids from Donaldson Christian Academy. We have FRA, NCS, Nashville Christian, and Good Pasture. So not all schools are equally represented, but the team's looking strong this year, and with the addition of Nashville Christian, we have a larger JV program that's also looking good.
So a little bit of an all-star team, and then Centennial Sportsplex. Okay, and then last night, or not last night, this on Monday, we had a girls' soccer game against FRA. Dr. Fitz, you were there. Tell us a little bit about how that game went.
So the girls fell behind 1-0 in the first 5 minutes, but they evened it up very quickly and they went ahead 2-1. FRA scored late to tie the game, and then the game finished regulation time in a 2-2 tie. It's an important game for seeding. The girls were telling me before the game that if they win the game, they're 4 seed, and they have a much easier path into the postseason than they would have as a 5 seed, which is the seed that they would be if they lost. So because the game had some importance for seeding, they played in overtime and they did penalty kicks after the game. The penalty kicks went our way. We won it in penalty kicks. But regular season games can't go into overtime. So all of the overtime was voided and the game has to end in a tie. And therefore, on the tie break that we have with FRA gets the 4 seed and we get the 5. So it's as if we lost, basically.
Oh.
We have the same seed that we would have had if we lost. So now we have the tougher route. We have a game that's winnable. I forget who it's against. But if they win that first round game, which they like their chances pretty well, then they're going to be playing BGA next Tuesday in a must-win. And BGA they regard as one of the strongest teams in the district. So that would be a really tough match, one for which we would really need every USN Tiger supporter to get out there and support USN against BGA.
You heard him, folks. I guess make your brackets for some October Madness, for some girls soccer.